Hey, welcome to Kate's Crafts. I'm Kate. Today I would like to share with you a trio of thank you cards I recently made using Pink Fresh's Argyle Stencil and Lawn Fawn's Simply Autumn Sentiments. I would also like to share some exciting news with you, so please stay tuned until the end. Let's get started. Here I'm just lining up the first stencil in the Pink Fresh Argyle stencil set that I recently got. And I'm going to use one of my new tailored expression brushes and go in to the first set of diamonds with Hickory Smoke Distress Oxide ink. I'm just going to go back and forth to kind of darken up this Hickory Smoke on the pink cardstock. The pink cardstock I'm using is a 65-pound cardstock that I believe it's a Recollections brand. A while back I had bought in a few different sets of different colored pinks and blues and greens and whatnot, so I could have a variety of shades of different cardstock. And I'm just now putting a dent into it, even after giving some of it to my sister-in-law to kind of help clear a little bit of space for more art supplies. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to go and wipe off the stencil, and then I'm going to line up the diamonds to where there's going to be a little bit of a pink border around each of the gray diamonds. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take this Wilted Violet with another blender brush and go in with that. Now I'm going to be a little heavy-handed with this because I want it nice and dark. I don't want it like a ghosting or a light shade. I want this nice and bold. So I'm going in quite heavy-handed with the color, not tapping off beforehand. And because this is an A2 size stencil, I will have to move everything around to kind of accommodate for the second color that I'm using here. Now, if I was just using the one color, it wouldn't be a big ordeal, but because this is such a small stencil and I'm working on an A2 size panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, I have to kind of fandangle and finesse a little bit in order to get the desired effect that I want. Now, if this was a larger stencil, I wouldn't have this issue, but because it is a small stencil and I'm working with multiple colors, I have to move it around a bit here. So again, I'm going in heavy-handedly with this Wilted Violet, and I'm getting like almost like a gesture effect with the two-tone here. Kind of reminds me of Harley Quinn had I used like red and black or something like that. But we're not doing Harley Quinn today, we're doing Argyle. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take the second part of the stencil and go over the area. Now I'm going to line that up to where each of the little X's is going through each of the diamonds to give it that Argyle effect. And I'm going in with some black soot for definition, kind of like an old sweater or something. I've had plenty of Argyle knee-high socks in my day. I don't know what it is about Argyle that's just kind of, it's got something about it. I don't know. It's interesting. It's a pattern, a repeating pattern. Maybe that's why it's so pleasing. But I remember having old Argyle sweaters as a teenager that, my grandfather probably would have worn. The kind with the V-neck and the scratchy wool. But they just look so darn cool. Anyway, enough of that. So once I'm happy with the black soot, I'm going to take that off and we can reveal. Now, I forgot that I had this in my stash. This is a micro glaze. It's almost like, I don't know how to explain it. Kind of like a wax, but kind of like a cream, but not a cream. And what you're supposed to do is you're just kind of dollop it on your finger and go around your Distress Oxide ink with it. Now, some of it will come off, but it's not going to make a big impact on the product itself. And then you're supposed to take a paper towel and kind of buff it around to get rid of any excess. And this is going to protect your distress oxiding from coming off on stuff or fading too much, or if you splatter water on it or something like that. This is almost going to be like a repellent for it. And it gives it just the slightest bit of shine to it, like there's a coating over top of it, like some of the paper packs that you can find. So I'm going to take this outside in stitched rectangles die. I'm going to take the largest one and I'm going to cut that out to create the stitched around the edging here. And I'll go ahead and pull that out. Now I've gone ahead and already cut out a whole bunch more. I'd already done this pattern on other pieces of cardstock, colored cardstock here. And I've cut out stamped and cut out, thankful, grateful, and gratitude from the autumn sentiment stamps. And then I've cut again, without any stamp on it, a thicker piece of cardstock in white, and then I cut it out again in black to create a bit of a shadow. So I'll just go ahead and layer up the first one and make sure everything is lined up. And once I'm happy with that, I will set a stamping block on top of it. And I will repeat the process for all of these. And now that I've got that one that's been setting for a little while, I'm going to go back and put more glue on the back side of this one, and then I will layer it over top of the black and kind of offset it, so that way you've got like a little bit of a shadow behind it when you layer it up onto the card. So like I said, I'm not lining this up perfectly, I'm just kind of leaving the black hanging over the edge of it. And then I'll put a block on it, and then I'll repeat the process again with all the other ones. So while that's sitting there, I'm going to take gratitude here and kind of line it up on this. This is a Shimmer Paper Pack that I got. It's a Recollections brand, 12x12 pack, And I used the Mama Elephant combo circle die to cut out, I think that's a 2-inch or maybe a 3-inch. I think that's a 2-inch circle. And I'm just going to put some glue on the back side of this gratitude. And I'm not going to put any glue where the lettering is going to hang over the circle. I'm going to leave that empty. I realized too late at the end here that I went a little too far with the glue, so I kind of wiped some of that off here. But I'm going to use my matte grid to line things up, and once I'm happy with that, I will do the same with the other ones, again putting the block over top of that one. So again with the same process. Now I was kind of thinking maybe I should go with a smaller circle for the thanks, but I'd already cut this one out and I kind of liked the size of it anyway. And the thanks kind of fits inside the circle and it doesn't really hang out too much, so I wasn't going to be too upset with the difference in size of words. Although the smaller circle would have looked nice as well, but I just thought that was cute anyway. So once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take the gratitude and I'm going to glue the back side of it. Now I probably used a little bit too much glue on the back side of this one as it warps just a smidge, but after it dries and it kind of lies flat a little bit better, so it's not a big deal. So I'm just going to stick that off to the corner, and that'll be my first bit done. And I'll set a block on that to weigh it out, and I'll do the rest the same way. This is an easy card that you can mass produce. No fuss at all. I found the ink blending rather fun to do, as I'd already done a few panels beforehand to see which purples and grays that I liked best. So I'm going to put a block on all these guys and I will let them sit for a little while and get back to them. So once I've given that one time to sit, you can see me kind of fussing with it. It's a little bit warped, but it's nothing too substantial. So I'm going to take some score tape and I'm going to go around the back sides of these. And that way I could just adhere them straight to my cardstock. I didn't want to put any glue on the back sides of these because I didn't want to warp the cardstock. I find that anytime I use glue directly to the cardstock, it does create some warping. So I found it always best to use some kind of strong adhesive tape like the score tape or strong permanent dot runner or tape runner, or whatever you want to call it. So once I've got that, I will cut one for the center of this. That way everything's all nice and sticky and able to adhere to the card base. So I've taken a piece of 110-pound black cardstock, cut it down to be able to fold it at the 5.5 or 4.25 mark by 5.5 there, yeah, A2 size. So I'll take the release tape off the back sides of this, and I will stand above, hold it at the corners, and kind of eyeball it. Again, I'll repeat the same process for the other 2 cards, and all that's left is to sign my name on the back. But as promised, my exciting news. Sometime within the last few days, at the time of this recording, I reached my very first milestone here on YouTube. Now, I know this is small in comparison, and I only just started posting videos back in February of this year, but I'm very, very thrilled to announce that I have reached my first 100 subscribers. So as a thank you to everyone, I will be hosting a mini giveaway over on my Instagram page. If you would like to participate, I have left a link to this giveaway in the description box below. With that being said, I would like to give a huge thank you to everyone who has taken the time to like, comment, share, watch, and subscribe. I enjoy making these videos and sharing them with you. Without you, I wouldn't have anyone to do this for but myself, and sometimes that's just no fun. So to my first 100 subscribers, a heartfelt thank you. I appreciate you, and I couldn't do this without you. If you've enjoyed today's content or found it helpful, please give this video a like. I also invite you to subscribe, as I post videos weekly. Here's another video I think you might enjoy. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Take care.